For the newer agents, if you have motivation and desire and your why, but how do you overcome the fear of rejection in the fastest way? That is a phenomenal question. That is a really good question. You go out there and you hustle. You get on the phone, you prospect, you talk to for sale by owners, you do open houses, you do all these things. You're going to encounter people. This is a people business. No way to get around it. Some will be nice. Some will be cool. Some will be helpful. Some will be pleasant and eager to work with you. Some will not. So let me give you some points. I had a big problem, as you know, many of you already know, with rejection. Being a foreigner, having an accent, not knowing shit about real estate, I really struggled with it. My very first expired listing, I was in the car, I had the MLS printout, I was sitting in the driver's wheel with my big Cadillac, remember the big boat? And I had the MLS printout in my hands, and I was shaking like this, just like that. And there were smudges. This was an all dot matrix. Remember the dot matrix? Remember those printers? So it was a printout like that. And I was holding it. It was all smudged. My palms were so sweaty. And I was sitting right in front of the house. There was an expired listing. And for over 20 minutes, I couldn't get out of the car. I was so nervous. I was so afraid. Oh, the seller's going to get mad, and the seller's going to do this, and the seller's going to do that. That's how terrifying and that's how paralyzed I was by the fear. So I absolutely understand when you guys feel like, shit, this is really tough. I hear you. I hear you. So let me give you some points. One, know that there will be rejection. So rejection is absolutely part of this business. We reject all the time. Do you ever get a telemarketing call? We all do, right? What do you say? No thanks. You hang up. We do it all the time. You walk into a store, a salesperson approaches you, may I help you with something? No, thank you, just looking. You just rejected them. We all do it. It is part of our life. It is not something that will ever go away. So understand that you're just as guilty. I'm just as guilty. I do it all the time. Here is an example. I bought a DJI. I just rejected every other brand. You know what I mean? We do it all the time. It happens all the time. It is not unique. It is not unique to the real estate industry. It is not unique to what you do. It happens all the time. You've been to a bar anytime recently, Yana? You're a great looking girl, right? Now I know you're married and all, but if you're in a bar and the dude walks up to you and says, hey baby, can I buy you a drink? And you say no, rejection. We do it all the time. So it's ever present in our life. So what really is happening is this. Because you're now on the sending end, our systems, our sensitivity to rejection is on a very different level. Because it's much easier to say to somebody, fuck off, or no thank you, than it is to send out the request to talk, to prospect, to connect with somebody, and to attempt to help them. The rejection is actually a social pain, and it goes back hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. We were coded that way. Rejecting from a social group meant death. We are conditioned to do whatever we can on a human level not to be rejected by the group. Because back then, if you got expelled from a group, you go hungry, you die. That's why Facebook became so popular, because you start liking stuff. You're included in these clubs. You're included in these groups. Inclusion in a group is one of the deepest desires we have. We want to be part of something. We want to be part of something. We want to belong. So if somebody tells us no, that hurts on a very visceral, on a very core level. So what you feel, the emotions you feel, are very real, and they're very painful at times. So how do you overcome it? What do you do with it? Step one, know it's going to be there. Step two is conditioning. Conditioning. You condition yourself differently, because what really hurts is not the rejection itself, not what they tell you, get lost. We don't want to list. It's the reaction to it. It is that thought process, it's that little voice that says,
see, I told you real estate is not for you, and it's going to be hard, and people are rude and nasty, and one day somebody's going to stab you.
It's that voice that triggers the emotions. So start conditioning yourself differently. Let me give you some examples. Your physiology. I studied this with Tony Robbins. Your physiology impacts your psychology. So your physiology impacts your psychology. Here's what I mean by that. How you behave, how your body moves, how you breathe, your posture impacts how you feel. Try this. Try this with me, seriously. Just try it. Be playful, have fun with me. Watch how this works. Stand up. Seriously, stand up. Come do it with me. It's going to be fun. Now, if you're driving, don't stand up, please. Okay? Stand up. Now, what I would like you to do is slouch forward like this. Just kind of slouch forward a little, like your back hurts a little. Look down. Breathe in a very shallow way. Very shallow breathing. Got that? Now tell me if that feels good. No, right? Suddenly your emotions shift. Your physiology, your body told your brain how to feel. Are you with me so far? Now watch this. Let's experiment with this. Straight up, shoulders back, head high. Take a nice deep breath and smile. Notice that that alone, that little adjustment, that minor tweak changed how you feel. That little movement, stand up, feels better. So if you start conditioning yourself, you can change your emotions. Now here's the best part. If you're communicating with people, your thoughts impact how the outcome of the conversation or interaction will go. Here's what I mean by that. My forever thought was, expireds are difficult, FSBOs are nasty, people are rude, nobody likes me, I'm a failure. And not that I would repeat it, but essentially that was my mantra. Can you guys relate to that? Do you somewhere deep inside feel like I shouldn't be doing this? I mean, test it this way. If you had $1 million in the bank, would you be calling expired listings? Probably not, right? So you have to work your way up some oomph to get to that point. Are you with me? So now, one of the things I had to change is that mind movie, that loop, that song that was looping in my head. Expireds are nasty, FSBOs are difficult, people are rude, I'm a failure, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to go well. I'm bothering people. They're probably having dinner. They're going to get pissed because I called them. All these thoughts translate into emotions, translate into actions, translate into results. So, to brace yourself, poor choice of words, but you understand, change the mind movies, your thoughts that play in your head. You can use Mind Matrix, I have a program for that, but you can do it yourself. What I did, for example, is before I started calling expired listings, first I was conditioning myself physically. I would get into a good state. I would work up this energy, feel, yes, feel good, yes, feel good, yes, feel good. I'm already doing it, look at that, look at that, see that? How the energy changed? Now I'm ready to go. Just a few simple exercises like that can change your state. Play loud music. I play rock and roll sometimes. We will rock you. To get in a better state, to change my state. That's one. Two, I shifted my mindset. And here was the movie I started playing. Before calling an expired listing, I would picture a couple. I give them a name. They were very specific. Older couple, Harry and Martha. And I would picture Harry and Martha in their home. Their property expired. They're kind of confused, they're devastated, they're sad, they're frustrated. And I call them. And I can picture them how they light up. We have this pleasant conversation. I almost see like this connection between us, bridging the distance. We have a lovely conversation with Harry and Martha. They smile, I smile, we have a good time. I set up a little visit with them. I knock on the door, they open the door, they welcome me in, we shake hands. They walk me through the house. It's a lovely home. We have a lovely conversation for a few minutes. Then we sit down at the kitchen table. I have my notepad out, ask them some questions. They're very engaged. They suddenly feel like, boy, this agent is really different. Not just because of that silly accent, but he really has a different energy to him. We have a conversation. We set up a listing appointment. Then I visualize how we meet for the listing appointment. Everything is clear to them. They ask some questions. They're excited because they finally feel the sense of hope that I want to convey to them, that I can help. I know how. I know the steps. And they're in a position where they can move. It can be done. The possibility. We list the property, then I see myself putting a sold sign there. They hug me, they're all happy. I give them their closing check, they give me the keys, everything is great. And we celebrate. That has become my new mind movie. And as I started playing this in my head, guess what happened? The outcome and the result of many of the calls and interactions and visits has changed. It completely changed. My mind and my expectations shifted first. My body shifted, and the outcome started to shift as well. And those that I didn't connect with, those that we were not a match, didn't matter a whole lot. It didn't bother me as much anymore. Change the mind movie. Rewrite the scripts in your head. Assign different meanings to what things mean. Next, massive action. Take massive action. Massive. Visiting one expired a day, doing a little bit of prospecting here and there. Remember what we talked about, the three elements? The desire, the systems, and action. It needs to be a massive, consistent action. Because you will develop certain, I don't want to use the word resistance, but it's the closest I can describe. A certain, like, remember last week I talked about my guitar. It sits here, I haven't played there. And the reason I'm worried about starting playing again, because if you don't play guitar for a while, these are metal, the strings are metal. It hurts like a motherfucker. It is really painful a few times. Some of you guys who play guitar nod your head right now, right? You know what I'm talking about. So what you need to develop is calluses on your fingers. And that takes about 2 weeks of consistent practice. After that, it's a lot easier. It doesn't hurt as much. You can do the slides, you can do the solos, you can do the chords, you can do everything. But it requires daily practice so that your fingers adjust and the skin literally gets thicker on your fingers. You need to develop the guitar fingers as well. And the way you develop it, you play daily. And the way you play daily is you enjoy playing even if you suck. The way you take massive action is you will enjoy it even if you suck. Here is why. You're not going to focus on results. This is where you get stuck again. Because at the beginning, of course, the results are not going to be awesome. I mean, imagine this. If you've never played guitar ever in your life and you pick one up, what are the chances of you playing Stairway to Heaven? Not likely, right? It's going to take some practice. Same thing here. When you learn to play golf or when you learn to ride a motorcycle, fly a drone, I need to learn how to fly the damn thing or I kill somebody with it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's going to take some practice to get there. So what you want to focus on is your activity versus the results. The results will follow once you start mastering it, but it is the action you take that is essential. That means your goal is to talk to 2 expireds a day, 2 conversations a day. If you had 2 conversations, you succeeded. Mission accomplished, regardless of what you get at the beginning. Later, you're going to start tweaking it. Why am I not getting enough appointments? What can I do to improve it? But to get there first, it requires massive action focusing on activities, because doing this activity, like me playing the scale every day, will get me better. Are you with me so far, guys? Is it making sense so far? Okay, so this is how you start shifting and getting away from all rejection sucks. You got to have a little thicker skin. This is a business that requires it. The price you're going to pay is in that emotional challenges that we sometimes face. That's why you're going to make 200, 300, 400, 500,000. You want to play it safe, you can go back to, not back, but you can go to Payless selling shoes. It's very safe, and it pays about $35,000 a year. My mailman, who just walks the neighborhood, makes about $52,000 a year. But you want to crank it up to 200, 300, 400,000. Get ready that there will be some discomfort. There will be some rejection. There will be some emotions that will torture. You got to stretch that comfort zone. The way you do that is understand it will be there. Start the conditioning. Work with your physiology. Rewrite your mind movie. Massive action. 5, set massive goals. Massive goals. Huge goals. Don't play small. Because if you play small, if the payoff is small, there's no excitement. Let me put it to you this way. If your goal is to have a lifestyle that includes a gorgeous house, ski vacations, summer vacations, beautiful cars, nice clothes, money in the bank, investment properties. Suddenly if somebody says, get lost, asshole, you're like, no big deal. This is what I'm building. This is the lifestyle I have or I'm about to have. If somebody's rude to me, it's okay. You put it in perspective. You understand what I'm saying? One little rejection here compared to what you're building and the money you're making and the freedom you have that comes with it, it's insignificant. And the only reason you assign significance to it is because the monkey brain. And because the payoff is not there. And you know what else? Sometimes you don't trust yourself. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe you're going to pull through and do the consistent action. The massive consistent action. It's like going to the gym. We started doing a challenge with Hannah, my wife. She challenged me, and maybe you've noticed, a little bit different. We started doing a yoga challenge. We agreed to do 101 yoga classes. So I've been going to yoga every day. I take 1 hour or 1 hour, 15-minute class. When you start doing this, it's like when you go to the gym, you start lifting weights. First day, it's like, fuck, oh man, that hurts. You're sore, right? Repetition. You do it again, you do it again, you do it again. It's going to get easier, better. You're going to get better. Your body will adjust and get better. But to get there, it's going to require consistent action. You're going to get better. You're going to get better. You're going to get better. Next thing I'm going to give you is practice. Can you guys still see it? Are we in the shot? Yeah. Practice. The reason most people are really nice is because I mastered the art of communication. I mastered the ability, and we're going to do another one sometime in September, where we do the conversation mastery, the communication mastery. We do a class where we get on the phone live, and we'll just do expired calls and for sale by owners course, and you can come and we'll role play and we'll work on it, and it's a lot of fun. If you've been on one, you know that it's fun. If you haven't, please join us. We're going to schedule it. We'll announce it. It's going to be sometime in September. We spend about an hour and a half just role playing, doing different dialogues, different questions, different objections. With consistent practice, you're going to get better. But it requires consistent daily practice. I had my buddy Tony, cup of coffee like this one, every day, half an hour like ping pong, back and forth. And Tony, if you're watching this, my man, we were together at RE/MAX, spent a lot of time practicing. It got me better. Just like learning that skill, learning the guitar, it's going to require some practice. And the last thing that ties in with the mind movie is these three things. FEB. Focus, expectations, and beliefs. You got to shift your focus, what you focus on. Because what you focus on, you feed energy to. What you feed energy to and focus on will increase, will enhance, will come more of. Your focus will call in more of that. Your expectations, what do you really expect? Do you expect people to be nice? Here is something I can tell you. After doing expireds for a while, and not just expireds, but prospecting and lead generation in general, you know what I have found? Most people are pretty nice. Most people are pretty nice. Not everybody was a perfect lead. Not everybody became my seller. Not everybody we clicked with. Not everybody was hugging me and all that. But in general, people were pretty nice. They were okay. They still are. They often just react because they're in this stressful situation. Moving, selling a house, dealing with agents, paperwork. All that is very confusing and stressful. Not something people generally want to do. You and I do this for a living. You understand this world. We understand the terms. We understand everything, how it works and why it works and what it means. But to many of these people, it's completely new and foreign. So they're under a lot of stress, and they very often take it out on you and I. That's just part of the business. So if you come in with a lot of compassion, a lot of understanding, with the right focus, expectations, and beliefs, and you break through the initial barrier, you will discover that underneath that crust of being very aloof and cold and angry and rude are just human beings who go, what the fuck do we do now? How do we get out of this mess? Does it all make sense, guys? Is that helpful? If you want to come on board, the Video Plus is now available. A bunch of you already did, and I'm really excited. Here's the URL. Come join us. You're going to get one of these in the mail. There'll be a package that comes with this book, with all kinds of goodness in it, and I'm really proud and excited about it. You can't see much of it, it's so white. But it is here. This is my baby. This is 7 months of my life is poured into this thing, and all the videos you're going to watch as part of the course, so I'm really excited. Come join us.